postures of learning to get energy moving through your body. And so the most basic, most important thing about it, really, is that you can't move chi if you have tension. And so all of this is about learning to relax and to release. You know, even you think relax, you're thinking like chill, but if you think release, it kind of is a better definition in a way. It's like let go, you know? So learning to feel how gravity like affects your body. Like if you just let your arm fall, you have to release, and it's harder than you think. It's like when you try to just let it go, you're still kind of holding it. And people our Western culture has the Marine posture of like putting your shoulders back, standing up straight, you know? It's like the opposite of this stuff. It's like roll the back forward, let the shoulders release and fall down. And then another principle of it, which takes years to cultivate really, but there's this concept of opening and closing that's in every movement. So the idea is that you actually can pulse and release the joint and make the joint open up a little bit and then come back. Eventually in your whole body and becoming even within your organs as well, like letting your liver pulse in a way, open and close, pushes fluids through it and makes it work better. And so, again, it takes, that kind of body awareness takes a lot of time, but that's the goal of what you're doing here. And again, this idea of release. Then the other thing, sometimes I talk about, or I name some of my classes the ABCs of energy arts. And so A is alignment, B is breath or balance, and C is center. So the idea of alignment is primarily there from the crown of your head. There's all these points, or really just 5 points on your body that are first as far as bringing energy out and bringing it back. They call these points, like if you were going to smush something on the ground, like so you have to lift up a little, you smush it down. They call that the bubbling well. And you try to, there's a concept of trying to work with the energies of the heaven and the earth. And man is kind of the energy in the middle. And so by getting your body in harmony with that, you can let those energies flow through. So the energy from the earth is coming up through the bubbling well, up through your body. And there's 3 channels that are the primary ones. The main one is from this point, the crown of your head, to the perineum, the center of your crotch. Is if you could drop a plumb line right through the center of your body, through those 2 points, that's the center channel of your body. And so that's in yoga as well as any kind of energy movement. That's the biggest part of movement. And so people, the Western idea of trying to have definitions, and it's a little tricky. And like the idea of meridian, what they're working with in acupuncture, they're hard to define. They're not exactly nerves. You know, they're not like, it's hard to make that designation. So it's more about pathways that energy is moving through your body. And there's no question that it's some sort of force similar to electricity maybe that's creating life.
It's your body's electromagnetic field.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're connected, yes?
No.
Oh, okay. So this idea of trying to become aware. So one of the ideas, or one of the sort of poetic phrases that I really love is they talk about treating your spine like a string of pearls. So in these postures, you get this sense, you want to have this sense of like lifting from the crown, and then you want to have this release. So this is probably one of the harder things to get going in a way is there's, you know, people stand different ways and walk different ways. This idea of tucking under slightly and lifting from above so that the sacrum, the very bottom parts of your spine, become like they're hanging. Again, with that release, with that gravity, that kind of letting go. And it comes partly from opening up your abdomen. And so like in yoga, like probably the good place to begin, and something to maybe think about trying to do this week. And you can do it sitting as well as standing. It's just to try to start moving your belly. Begin by breathing as big as you can, opening and closing, and then trying to actually become more aware, even letting the sides come out, letting the back come out. And then the Chinese or the Taoists speak of 3 centers. So A, B, C, center. The biggest one, which is the storage place for qi and for energy in your body, and also the gravitational center of your body, is the Dantian is called, like they spell it, or the transliteration T-A-N, T-I-E-N. Dantian is like the very, it's like, if you imagine in also the very center of your body, this line I talked about from the crown to the perineum, think of that as a baton, and on that baton there's 3 balls. The Dantian's the bigger one, and then the heart is the second center, and then the mind is the third center. So there's like these 3 balls, and so in the beginning, you try to become aware of that center line and turning and letting all that happen together. Okay. So let's start.
One thing I just,
Yeah, go ahead.
so much of the class is standing up. Although you gonna do?
Yeah, we're.
So I did put you, and people can stand up for as long as they want until they get tired or feel uncomfortable. Then you can sit down. But so the chairs are there if you need them, but you can also just stand for the whole. But it's there if you need it, and don't worry if you're feeling tired or it hurts, sit down.
Right. And that brings up the idea of one of the primary rules of all of this is the 70% rule, we call it. And so when you want to do things 70% of what you think you could. So if I'm demonstrating something and it's like to reach out, instead of trying to really reach, go to like just 70% of what you could, where you could go, and then come back. Never overextend, the opposite of overextend, kind of underdo things. And then as you underdo them, then that 70 is going to grow a little bit with time. You might do it, further. But anything that's bothering you too, like it's not like no pain, no gain in here. It's the opposite idea. It's like if there's pain, it's wrong. There's something going on here. It's interesting. It's kind of, there's certain exercises that can be done seated, and it absolutely doesn't make any difference. There's certain other things, like just becoming aware of this. You can do it seated as well, and I recommend that if it's easier for you. But if it's comfortable to stand, in general, it's probably good to stand for a good part of the class. Also, I'm very welcome to feedback, as much feedback as you can give me at the end of the class in terms of what you liked, or just basically anything you want to say. Please give it to me. So this idea of qi, let's first rub your hands together. So just try to make your hands warm by rubbing them together. Oops. Oh yeah, put music on. And then with that rubbing, so the other points I talked about the top and the perineum, the bubbling wells. This point, the center of your palm, is called the Lao Gong point. And so the Lao Gong point is the most accessible place where you can emanate qi or pull qi in. You can start to become aware of qi. So people that do healing and work with other people with qi, which is common in India. I mean in China, but it's just kind of, it's never really, well, it's becoming more and more accepted in the United States. It's integrative medicine is a term that's being used now more, where they're like exactly what we're doing here. This concept of that we don't have to take the good, and we don't have to like say all with this side, all the other side, like meet in the middle. And so this idea of feeling this connection between the palms. So let's just, the idea connect your mind to your body in a way that is where you really feel. You're not imagining anything, you're feeling it. And so just try to relax your hands. Try to feel what your hands feel like. And then open the hands and try to open your fingers up a little bit. And then release and relax back. Now let's make your fingers and loosen this all up. Imagine like how octopus tentacles, like their legs or squid. Try to feel that fluidity, that idea of the crane and the snake movement. Try to make the hands soft, and then really feel that opening, like the joint to the fingers. Open the fingers up a little bit, and then release and become aware of that center, how a little ball, almost like you're holding a ball in your hand. Now bring your hands close together and try to sense a connection between them. Relax the shoulders, let them kind of just hang down. Relax the elbows, let that release. Point the elbows to the ground, and then move the hands closer together and pull apart. Breathe soft and full. Try to get the sense of, like, as you're pulling your palms apart, there's like a magnetic force pulling them together, so they want to be connected. As you push together, the opposite, feel that like there's a pulse, like North Pole to North Pole on a magnet where they're pulling apart. Just try to get that sense of the hands having this connection. So as a lot of these movements, if you can connect your palms into your body, it helps to activate and move the chi. You trace these major channels, the right and left channel and the center channel with your palms. Now let's just bring the palms down and face them to what I call the dantian, your lower abdomen. So below the navel, maybe 3 fingers widths below, in the center of your body, connect the palms and pull them open. Take a deep, deep breath. Roll back just a little bit so your tailbone tucks under. And as you open up, make your tummy move open. Move it out, relax, exhale. Again, try to relax the hands, relax the arms. And really just the main focus here, deep, full breaths. Open your abdomen. Relax, back to neutral. Open. Now we'll do one more. Open, big, relax, big breath. So the breath can be in through the nose, out through the mouth, or it can just be in and out through the nose. Now again, feel that lift from the crown. So there's an alignment. There's basically where your nipples are. If you could put a line right up here, roll your shoulder forward, and feel how under the collarbone there's a little indentation that happens. They call that the shoulder's nest. And it is a part that you're not really aware of that much, but it's the end of this and this idea of rolling the shoulders in a way that's relaxed, so the shoulders still drop, and you roll it forward to create that hole, that dent, is a goal. So in these movements, rather than just like reaching out or doing this, you try to roll the shoulder forward to give that, to move that shoulder's nest, get that shoulder's nest going on. Now let's go back. Actually, let's do the other side now. So touch, feel that come in. So that in combination with that, there's this idea of moving the shoulder blade. Like if you roll your shoulder forward, and you can get the shoulder blade to move away from the spine, that's what we're going for. And with the idea of still keeping the shoulders very relaxed, but letting that move. So now let's go back to here and take a big breath. As you breathe in, so put your feet more or less the inside of the feet or even the center of the foot online with what you think of as the side channels, what I've described as the side channels. So it's from the shoulder's nest, nipples, and then this area here it's called the qua. So where your hip folds is another really important component of all these movements. The knee stays stable, but the hip folds to lower you down. So see how my knees aren't even moving, but I'm going up and down. I mean, they're like closing, but they're not going beyond the toe. So this idea of opening and closing the qua, and this idea of opening and closing the shoulder's nest act as chi pumps. They like get chi moving through your body. So let's just take we're gonna grab this ball inside. Actually, let's build the ball up a little bit. So with the palms, imagine like a fishing reel, and you're reeling it out, and it's opening this ball inside of your belly. Inhale, and then reel in. So feel the connection between the palms and that lower center, and then try to put relaxation into your hands, still with the even breathing. Sometimes I like to use light so let's start out with just white light. So as you inhale, imagine it's getting bright, filling with white light, and then as you reel it in, your hands pull into the lower center, it's concentrating, getting brighter. On this one, let's pull right into the belly and lift that ball up to your heart. And then open out. And gather into your heart. So try to let your elbows point to the ground, and open and close the elbows to feel that release of the shoulder still. So you're not holding anything up, you just unfold, open out from the heart. Inhale, fold back, exhale. Now let's just lift the ball up to the mind. And here you could, the point above the eyebrow, between the eyebrows is the third eye, and you see it often in Hinduism more. That is sort of an entry point into the center of the mind, the center ball. Opening the mind, feel, let's use gold light here. So connect the palms and expand, gathering, making it like a giant ball, and then concentrate and bring that golden energy brighter right into the center of the mind. Relax and feel like there's a string attached to the crown of the head, and lift the crown of the head, lengthening the spine. You want to touch the tongue to the roof of the mouth, right where it caves in, like behind the teeth. Just lightly touch it there. It's like completes an energy circuit throughout the exercises. You want to have this tongue touching the roof of the mouth, just ever so gently. Now let's go out, open out, and then turn the palms again to face each other, and just let them float down, relax down. Connect to the lower center, and then it's just lift up. Reach out, relax, and come back, reeling it into your lower center. As much as possible, keep the hands right on that railroad tracks of the center of the side channels. Inhale, and let's exhale up. Reach out, extend the fingers, come back, gather into your lower center. So we want to have this sense of energy rising up the back. Think of energies coming up all the way to the crown of the head. Lift the crown of the head, open, release, and relax down. One more. Still feeling that connection between the palms and relaxing the hands. Now in this next one, go into your dantian, change the direction. So here, reach out. Think like you're gonna shake someone's hand. You wanna reach out to their hand and pull back and gather in. Connect to those side channels and just let it float down the front of your body. Energy rising up the back to the crown, releasing down the face, down the chest, all the way down to the earth. Let's just go ahead and stand up. So before you stand, I want you to turn the palms and think about lightsabers shooting out of the loudon point. And push in through the legs, and like push yourself up like that. Release down, and then relax and sink into the floor. Feel your feet on the floor. Try to put the feet parallel, and again, right on these side channels. So not too wide of a stance, a little narrower than you would think, and try to keep the feet parallel. Now let's just scoop out the arms. And let them float down. So we're gonna do this in a way that's just very, without effort. Reach open, and then at the very top, let's connect the fingers to the crown of the head and just roll ahead a little bit onto the balls of feet and extend the spine. Now shift back all the way back into the feet and connect down. This time, again, the lightsabers through the feet. Sink into the feet. Now let's just roll the shoulders and just bow forward ever so slightly and lengthen from the top. Come back, sink into the heels, let the tailbone drop. Same forward. Here, try to release the shoulders and roll the shoulders forward. Feel the back relax. Shift back, drop into the heels, let the tailbone drop down. And in the beginning, think about tucking, just a little tuck under, but the goal is to do it effortlessly. Let it just dangle. One more time, roll forward. This time, as you come back, keep the shoulders slightly forward like that, so your back is rounded. Now lift from the crown and release and drop down. Open the armpits like so, round, open, and then push into the floor to rise up. So now let's sink down, push down to rise. So this energy is a Tai Chi energy called An. This sinking to rise. So sink down, and then as you push down, lengthen and open your spine all the way from the crown. Sink down, let the arms float a little up, and again, push down to rise. One more. Push down to rise. Now let's just let the arms dangle and sink into one leg and relax and do that. Try to really tuck the chin, that spine a little, feel the weight there and still feel lifted above the crown. And then push into the ground and shift the weight over to the other side. Now really sink in and let that side open on this side and sink down on this side. Try to find the alignment so you're really into that foot and you're lifting from the crown. Now let's go to center. Feel balance into both feet and then push over, drop the other foot. Push over. Sink in. Now here again, in the middle, really feel that lift from the crown, opening up the spine. Sink over and tuck a little under. Feel that lift from the top to open the spine. Sink in. Come to the center. Now with your chin, just put the chin level, try to get the chin level to the floor. And then pull back just a little bit to feel how that opens up the cervical spine. Now relax it still, but feel how that parallel to the floor chin, and then just pulling back just a little bit opens the cervical spine. Now feel like from the crown of the head through the perineum, that baton, and let's just shift. And as you fold the quad to sink. So feel push to the center and then fold the quad. Push to the center and fold. As you fold, it turns the torso a little bit. Let's go back to center and just try doing that. Fold down, fold here, and then rise back up. Fold, and then lift from the ground. Fold. Call that a quad squat because you're squatting, but it's by just folding the quad. So the goal of this movement called energy, the gates of the body, is to have that turning. One more. Now let's let the arms just dangle down. And again, this time let's push both hands into the floor and let all the weight, and then feel that quad squat. Turn your torso a little bit. Push over to center, sink and fold to turn. Push to center, sink to fold to turn. Okay, now let's just come to center. Now, what I want you to do is think about, in this movement, I've given you a lot of body alignments, and now I just want you to relax and try to turn the torso to one side and turn it to the other to create the arm swing. So try to keep the hips, the shoulders moving together, and the eyes, so it's like a board, like the torso, and then try to let the arms just dangle. Let go of the tension in the arms, and rotate the shoulders in, and then add in that little drop into the foot. Sink into one side, sink into the other. Trying to rotate right on that center line. Just do a couple of release exercises. So float the arms up the center channel, open like a flower, gather into your lower center again. Scooch into the ground, lift up. Feel energy just pull up from the earth and go right through the center channel, up through the crown of the head, and open out. Gather in. Think softness. So like in the arms coming up, think like smoke rising. Going down, feathers floating down. One more. Actually, let's do one more really slowly and try to think like you're going right up the center channel with your palms. Open from the crown, release, and then sit down just a little bit so you tuck the spine under. Now let's push down and gather open out. Release down. So here, let the arms float up. Let's get each to the heavens. Bring energy down through the side channels. With the palms, the Lao-Gong points I talked about, try to follow your side channels down and then into the earth. Release. Push down into one leg, and then as you push into the other leg, pull up to your shoulder's nest. Push into the foot, and almost like a pulley system. Think like the pushing down is causing that other arm to just float up. Try to do it without tension, but face the palm to right to your body, and feel like you're sliding up this channel. Push down into that foot. Slide up. Push it up. Let's do it a little bit slower. So make sure push, let all the weight go
focus to either the rising hand and then for a little bit, but try to do it effortlessly. This idea of like this pressing down is powering the rising. All the weight sinking into one foot, everything on the other side of the body is opening and getting light, rising. And then again, put the palm right up so you're like, it's caressing, like if there's a slide right up your body. Imagine you're pulling chi out of the earth and pushing into the earth. Now we're going to come back to center. And you can do the same motion, only we're just going to open it up. So just reach out, and in this one, like we were doing before, just that ever so subtle folding of the quad, causing your torso to turn. Don't go too far, just a little bit of twist. And then try to get the focus on sinking and getting one side of the body all the weight. It's almost like you're pouring sand or water. One side of the body becomes full and the other empties out. That emptying out is releasing and opening every joint of that side of the body. The hand rising should be coming right up the center, like your chest bone. And it's still facing your body, but feel that release and opening all the way to the fingertips. The one that's going down, you can experiment with letting gravity take hold of it a little. Try to take the tension out and just let it fall. Still twisting, the arms are twisting constantly so that you have that facing your body and pushing to the floor. Try to, when you get to the sunken side, try to be aligned, the crown of the head right over where the foot is in the floor. Opening up with the rising arm. You can either just come up on the toe a little bit, just to let that side open out. Have this lengthening out of the arm, trying to open the fingers, open the hand, open the wrist. Let's make it a little smaller and start to connect the palms again into those lower center and your heart center I spoke of. So like the rising arm is lifting up from your lower dantian to your heart. Let the elbows feel heavy, let the arms get soft. Get a sense of the muscles just hanging on the bones. Now let's go a little slower. Really just give the emphasis on shifting the weight. Push into one side, everything into the other. Again, with the fishing wheel, connect the palms to your lower dantian and make this movement smaller, like it's reeling in. Your palms are connecting, getting pulled in like a magnet to your lower center. Feel the connection between the palms as they pass, like there's this little connection as they go by. Now put it into your lower center. Very slowly, we're going to come to a halt. Just put the palms over the center, and again, relax, release. Try to feel evenly weighted. Lift from the crown and inhale. Relax and sit down just a little, let the sacrum tuck under. do it's a very simple, well, not so simple, but a basic Tai Chi movement. So what I want you to do, just put your hands over your lower center and just feel the Qi for a moment. Try to feel that connection with your palms. Try to relax your body. Try to let everything start to just hang. Scan from the top down. Try to feel tensions, release. Let your shoulders, just let them fall down like gravity. Feel that sitting down, pop open the lower back. Breathe, lift from the crown. Feel balanced, even weight on the heel and ball of the foot. What I want you to do is shift your weight over and do, like I said, fold the quad to turn the torso. Then let this foot just turn so it's pointing the way your torso is, and push into that foot. Now find that front position where your yeah. So we're going to go forward. Yeah, that's it. So if you sit back and try to put all the weight into that rear foot, and then let the toe off, and then kind of get this sense of that your body is facing where that toe is, but you're opening up. So then inhale and try to sink down a little. Breathe into there, and then as we lift the ball up to the heart, push into the front foot. As you come back, let the palms and sink and drop. Try to feel the opening up. Feel this roundness here and the whole abdomen opening, and then push forward and lift, and then now in the front, push down and lift from the crown. And we're going to come back, keep the right hand, or whichever palm where you're twisting in, the leg that's weighted on the top, the hand on the top, like you're holding a ball. Compress, let's just stand there for a moment. Lift from the crown, try to feel balanced on that leg. You got about still 30% of the weight on the front foot maybe. Now come back a little more until you're like 90% back. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do that same idea. Rotate the torso and rotate the ball. So then this arm's forward. So this movement is called Pung in Tai Chi. And the Pung, so come back, hold the ball. So it's like you turn the ball over, come forward, turn the ball sideways. Look your hands sideways. Get them right in line with your chest bone, with your right out here. So as you rotate through. Now let's inhale back and open up, like pull open everything in your body. And then as you come forward and rotate the ball, compress the ball and lift from the ground. Inhale, open everything, sink into the ground, rotate the torso, compress the ball, push. So the word Pung, which is the name of this movement, is defined by this rising energy. So before I mentioned the on, sinking to rise, this is like if you were going to hold something underwater and it wants to float to the surface like a buoy or a big log, that floating up, try to let the front arm just float up. And the other hand is just following along, because it's just like attached like around this ball. Rotate back. The third one I'm going to show you is come forward, and let's just feel that alignment. Try to relax the elbows. Okay, so this arm is round in front of you. So this arm like here. Let this go down, relax. Yeah. And then this guy, so it's like this. Yeah, like this. Let's see. Yeah, round in the front. Hold the ball. So here your hands are yeah, that's it. And then forward, like you're holding a ball like that. Come back. Now this time we're gonna push into the leg with both arms. So here, instead of twisting the hips back, just sit down and lift up. Sink into the rear foot, pull up. So here, it's like you're sliding up a pipe. And think right, like you're pulling right up your center channel. Lift to the crown, sink bow. So this one really pops your lower back out, and then lift to the crown. This is the movement of that energy I spoke of, the sinking. It's called on. So as you come back, sink into the rear foot. As you come up, rise with the palm energy. So rising up. Let's see if you have, let's see, so that the hip is hurting there. So take a step back like this and just stand on one leg and try to relax this buttock a little. And then put this foot out. Yeah. So watch me like this. And then as you come back, just keep the hips parallel and kind of sit down. As you come forward, just don't go all the way forward, but just try to stand on that leg. Come back, stand, sit. So it really emphasizes this opening the lower back. Here is like sinking into the front foot. So those movements are the beginning of a Tai Chi form. So if you were to see a Tai Chi, the opening Tai Chi is like this, and then you do something like this, and then this is like the on energy. But there may be a later class, but there's one more Tai Chi that I'm going to show you, and then later in the sessions we can work on some of these movements. But with this one, what I want you to think of is your hand is, again, like the ball, you're coming right up that center line, and then attach to the heart and rotate the torso, like, so you're connected, you're pulling the torso around with that hand. And then the other one, so when you reach the twist, the hand releases, and the other one's rising up. Have this, keep the round, the arms are rounded like they're around a ball or something, so their palms are facing toward you. Let me stand this way, make it a little easier to watch. So you have that. This movement is called cloud hands. Release the arm. Palm goes from the lower Dantian to the middle Dantian, and then just pulls the torso to the corner, and releases. The arms stay round and soft, the palms stay soft, and the weight shifts all the way into one leg and all the way into the other. This is similar to the first movement that I taught you. That's let's just go back, put the palms into the lower dantian, breathe, sink. Relax, rise from the crown. Roll the shoulders forward a little bit, feel open under the armpits, and then sit down to open the lower back. Then lift from the crown. Relax, feel the weight even in the feet. Try to find tension. Try to relax your eyes, your jaw bones. Try to find tension tension in your neck and just release the tension. Try to find tension in your shoulders and can you release them and fall a little further. Feels let the back relax a little more, sink into the floor. Release the chest. Breathe to open and soften the abdomen. Feel the weight dropping. Try to let the body just hang from that center pole, that center channel. Lift from the crown. Like there's a string holding you there, or somebody's out your hair. Directly above, and just let it all hang down and try to release and relax downward. Now let's just let the arms float up, right on the side channels. Reach out, gather into your lower abdomen. So the same exercise we did at the beginning, let the hands rise up the side channels, lengthen and open, and then come back, connecting into that lower abdomen. Float up the side channels, lengthen and open at the fingers, relax and lengthen. Palms start to close, gather in, connect to the lower dantian. Rise up the side channels. Try to find a place where you can help get centered, where you're standing evenly, feel like you're erect from the crown of the head, and then relax into the feet. Slightly folding that quad area, coordinating with the breath, floating up, opening everything, coming down, gathering into your lower center. Palms right up the side channels, lengthening, opening out, gathering back, collecting, sinking, and dropping into the earth. Last one, rising up, lengthening, opening everything, all the way to the top of the head, gather back to your lower center. Now we're going to reverse the direction. So connect again with the lower dantian. Just reach out both hands like somebody opening and fold at the elbows to pull into your heart. And then let everything just crash like a wave down the front of your body. The wave rising, wave of energy rising up the back to the crown of the head. Gather, let it wash down the front, cleansing, releasing tensions. Open out. Gather by folding the elbows, release the shoulders down, drop down the face of the body, all the way into the earth. Try to let tensions just dissolve as it drops down. Wash the tensions out of your body, let it all just soft, feeling lifted from the crown. Letting the tailbone just relax under, folding gently at the claw to help stabilize the stance. Do one more like that. This time as you pull back, cross the palms above your lower dantian like this. And just stand for a moment, breathe, let the arms be soft. Try to feel that connection with the palm, the loud gum points right on top of each other, caressing, and then just breathe to open that palm and release and relax. And try to dissolve tensions, release, relax. And just open out a little more, chin to the floor. Bring the palms right over the dantian, open up to the heart, open out, push down into the floor again. Again, cross the palms, connect to the lower dantian, pull up to the heart, open out, gather in again. one, let's go up to the mind, so all the way up. Feel how that opens the crown of the head up. Come, pull open, lift from the crown, open the spine. Let the spine, every vertebrae, get a little more space between it. Lift from the crown, and release down. Now this time, come open, let the arms just float up and reach out. And now let's just rotate and pull into your heart. And then open out. This exercise is similar to the vertical circles we've been doing a lot, but it's horizontal. So it comes with this pushing the palms. Think like you're grinding against the surface of the floor. And then release and relax the shoulders. Release and relax the palms. Open everything, rise slightly into the balls of the feet and drop into the heels. And feel this like opening up your chest. Open everything in your chest. And come back to neutral. Let's reverse the direction. So we're going to go out. Again, let the elbows hang. Gather into your heart. Do one more as we come back. Last one. Now again, let's just reach out and pull into the heart. Put your hands in like a prayer position. Release, relax down. Try to find a stable stance. Try to feel the alignments. Try to feel relaxation. Try to let your shoulders just go. Rotate the shoulders around a little to open up the back. And then sit back onto the heels and open the chest the other way. Just gently, not in a way that's hard, but point the shoulder tips back a little. Point them forward a little. One more. Now let's just release the shoulders, release the hands in the swirl. Again, in the beginning, like we did with the fingers, like octopus legs. Start with that, and then try to get the hand bones to release. Soften, swirl around. Use this swinging. Let gravity take hold of it more. So the only thing that's turning. Start with the hand turning to make the fingers turn, then the wrist to make the hand release. And then the elbows to make the wrists release. And then the shoulders, let the shoulders go. Roll the shoulders forward. So open the back, open and then release. Open, pull the shoulder blades away from the spine. Gather back. Now let's reverse that direction. So open out, pull back, push the shoulder blades against the spine. Let it go forward and back. So here, again, just rock onto the toes and then drop into the floor. And really try to feel that lift all the way to the crown and release. One more. Now we're going to just try to do the same with the toes. So shift your weight over, try to get the fingers and toes moving, the foot. Try to get the foot, the bones in the foot can get really like stiff and they'll move. Try to get those foot bones moving. And the hands, the ankle, the knee. Now let's do the other side. Fingers and toe, elbow and knee, hip and shoulder. Alright, now let's just whoosh it through, open, relax down. One more. Gather to your lower center, come up to your heart, open out, sink into the floor. Hands to prayer position, bow forward. Bring a smile into your mind. Really connect with that smile. Bring a smile onto your face. Bring it out to every cell in your body. Nourish your body with the joy of a smile, chi that we've been able to generate. Let it flow freely. Try to relax into the moment. Bring our hands back to lower dantian. Let everything sink down and feel like you're filling up, gathering chi in your lower dantian. You're creating a little reservoir of what we've done, storing it there.